we're going to talk about adding, subtracting, multiplying, dividing eventually, doing numbers in other bases other than base 10. Now, to begin that, let's think about, I'll come back to that and you can write it down in a minute. But let's begin with this thought. If you'll teach kids that the number 726, you'll teach them that that's different than 276, right? And why are those different? Because the places matter, don't they? I mean, I know it's just, you're just like, well, those are different. What a dumb question. I know it seems that way to you, just like the back of your hand. You know it very well. Really, in a lot of ways, you know it too well. You know our system so well that really you've stopped thinking about it years ago. It's just native for you now. You know what I mean? And so what we're going to do is force ourselves to really intentionally think about what a place value system does. That way, you'll really be able to communicate it to kids. You'll really know what's going on because it just seems like obvious to you. So the 6 is in the 1's place, the 2 is in the 10's place, and the 7 is in the... Yeah, and if we had another digit like 5, this would be the thousands place, right? And so notice you start with 1, and then how do you go up each time? You go times 10, etc., right? Another way you could put it, the number 5,726. This is the 1's place. This is the 10 to the 1, 10 to the 2, 10 to the 3. That's another way to say the same thing, right? Because 10 to the 3 is 1,000, isn't it? You with me on that? So those are two ways to say the same thing. We have what's called a base 10 system. All the numbers mean something about a 10, don't they? It's a base 10 system. So what happens when we change that game? That's what we're interested in today. So how about the number 2022 base 4? So if you want to write that one down, this is question number 3. So this is exactly what you will see in your homework. When you get onto the homework, sometime between now, when I say it's due Friday, it's due Friday at class time. Homework is always due, 2 o'clock. So 2 o'clock on Friday, 2 p.m. at class time. Homework's always due the next meeting right at class time, so 2 p.m. on Friday. You can do it late, but anything late is half credit. So get it done by 2, it's all good. So this will be question number 3, be the same one. Maybe it'll change it to some other number, but it's basically exactly that question. So 2022 base 4, so 2022. But that's a base for that F-O-R-E that they're writing there. That means this is a base 4 number. It's not a base 10 number. It's not, like we would normally think, 2022. So what is it then? Well, let's start off and let's do the same thing with base 4 that we normally do with base 10. We start here with the 1's place, right? All the systems start with the 1's place. That's always the 1's place. But the next one, instead of being the 10's place, is going to be what?
4.
The 4's place. Yeah, because I went times 4. Just like over here, right? I went times 10, times 10, times 10. Start with 1 and keep multiplying by 10 as you go left. So, what's the next place going to be? The 16's place, yeah. Times 4 again. You can use calculators, by the way, for everything if you're rusty on some of these times tables, especially like the next one. 16 times 4? 64. Yeah, you can use calculators on tests and everything. So anyway, actually there'll be a few problems every now and then that we don't use a calculator. I'll tell you about those. That's on exam too. Anyway, for now, everything's calculator. So, yeah, so that 2022 is 2 64s, no 16s, 2 4s, and 2 1s. So which of these is actually right? I don't know. I can't tell. Let's see, was it?
C.
Is it C? Is it this one? Yeah, because that's 4 to the 3rd. Yeah, so they wrote them as 4 to the 3rd, 4 to the 2nd, 4 to the 1st, same thing. Is that good? Is that making sense? So that's all. And then they want the value. No, I better answer this. Then they say, okay, so now what's the actual value? Like, what's the number in normal numbers like we're used to? How would we figure that out? So what is 2 64ths? If I say I've got 2 groups of 64, that would be 2 times 64. You just calculate if you need to, 128, right? No 16s, No 16s is just nothing. 2 4s is 8. And 2 1s is 2. And then we just add those up. What is that? 10. 138? That's the number 138. 2022 base 4 is the same as 138. Did that make sense how I did that? So again, you start with 1. They all start with a ones place. And you go times 4, times 4, times 4. Because we're in base 4, it said 4. And then you just multiply those. 2 64s, 2 times 64. No 16s, 2 4s, and 2 1s. Add them up. That's the number. That's a weird way to write 138, isn't it? 2022 base 4 is the same as 138. If you said I got 2022 base 4 pencils in my office, that means 138 pencils in your office. Why are we doing this? We just had to come up with something to torture students with. No, it's because it's making you really think intentionally about a place value system. You know, not every system is place value, by the way. I don't know if you know that. You know a number system that's not place value. You've used it before. Anybody know what I'm talking about? What am I talking about? Yeah.
Roman numerals.
Well said. Roman numerals. Yeah, you remember Roman numerals? Like, what is V11? VII, I guess it is. What number is that? 7. Yeah, remember the V is 5 and these are 1. So this is the number 7. It doesn't, that V being there doesn't mean 500 or something because of the place. If they just wrote V1, the V still just means 5. It doesn't matter where the V is. There's no place value in the Roman number system. I don't know if you've ever stayed up late at night thinking about that. Probably not. That's just what weird math teachers do. But yeah, no, so there's some systems don't have place value. So it's a little tricky for kids to learn our system because when you write 5726, it matters, you know, where the 5 is. It's not just, and it's not just those 4 numbers. It matters where they sit, which is obvious to you now. You don't even think about it anymore. But for kids for the first time, that's weird. And you're going to be instructing them on the place values. So there's face value. The number is a 5 on the face of it, but it's in the thousands place. So our numbers have both face value and place value. We're using what's the name of our number system? It's the American number system. No, I'm just kidding. America's only been around for a couple hundred years. It's the, anybody know what it's called, the way we use it? It's the Hindu-Arabic. That's actually the roots of it. Anyway, our system, the Hindu-Arabic system, has face value and place value. All right, so getting back to it, let's try number 4. Let me write it bigger for you. Number 4 is 760 base 8. So question 4A says 760 base 8. Can you change that into a normal number? So let me let you try that. Feel free to use your calculator and let me put it up, finish it up here. So this is the 1's place, the 8's place, the 64's place. Right? We just keep going times 8, right? Start with 1, times 8, okay? And then it's 7/64. 7/64, what's it, 420, 448, all right? And then 6 8, 6 in the 8's place, and then no 1's, which is nothing. And what'd you guys say, 496?
Yeah.
496. Good. Questions on that? Is that making sense?
Yeah.
How to convert from a foreign system to our system? Okay, so 5C says 31E. What's up with that E? Base 12. 31E base 12. So let's try that one together. So we got to put the place values underneath the face values, right? So the first place is always the 1's place, every system, no exception. What's the next place going to be? 12, right, because you just go times 12. And what's the next place value going to be? Yeah, times 12 again, 144. Okay, now, if you had to guess, what do you think that E stands for? Yeah, E stands for 11. Now, why are they doing that? Why don't they just write 11? Why are they writing E? Why are they being so weird all of a sudden? What would be wrong with writing 11? Yeah, those would be 2 places. Remember, we're all focused on the places here. If we wrote 1, 1, we'd be using up 2 places. And so it's important that that 11 is just sitting in the ones place, right? If I wrote the actual 1, 1 number, that would be using 2 places. That would be a different number. If I wrote 1, 1 base 12, I can't talk and spell. There we go. 12, what would that be? That would be the ones place and the 12s place. That'd be something different, wouldn't it? That wouldn't be 11 anymore. What would that be? What's the total of that? What's 1, 1 base 12? It's 1, 12, and 1, 1, which is, what's 1, 12, and 1 more? 13. That'd be 13. Do you see that? That'd be 13 normal. 1, 1 base 12 is 13 normal. That's not what I want. Does everybody see the difference? It's kind of weird at first, isn't it? This making sense? 1, 1 base 12 would not really be 11, would it? Because it would be 1, 12, 12, and 1, 1. One more, it would be 13. It would be a normal 13. 1, 1 base 12 would actually be 13. So do you see why they're using the E now? Because they want to say 11, but they want to only use one spot. So that's why they're doing that. All right, so now it's normal from here. So can we figure out the actual number? It's 3 144s. So whatever that is. Somebody have a calculator? 432, thank you. And 1 in the 12s place. So I can do that one. And 11. That is 11, but it's all in one place, huh? 11 in the ones place. And so that's just 11. Add them up. What do we get? 455? Yes. There it is. That's 455. This making sense?
I have a question.
Yeah.
So if that were like base 15 and there was an F in the east place, would that be 14? Is that the only instance in which we would use the E?
It's the only one we're going to use. Mm-hmm. Yeah, base 12 is the only one we're going to use letters for.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Yeah, but what was your particular question about?
So I was just wondering if that applied to like any other case, like, so like if you had a base 15.
Right.
And you had like a F in there, would that mean 14, or if you had
yeah.
a 2?
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, I see with the F. They do other things and we're not going to get into that. I can just, if you're interested, base 16 system, they actually use A, B, C, D, E, F. We're not going there. We're not going to do that. That's what people do. Basically, anytime you get over base 10, so the main divide line here is our system is base 10. That's what the system we're used to. Anytime you go to a bigger base, right? The first couple we did today were what? What were they? Base 4 and base 8, right? Base 8 and base 4. Where's base 4? There it is. Those are both smaller than 10, aren't they? Base 4, base 8, they're both smaller than 10. So we did not need new symbols. But once you go to a base bigger than 10, like this one, which is 12, you need more symbols. And so what they make up is they make up T for 10, as it says up here. Or it's off the screen a little bit. T for 10 and E for 11. And that's the only one we're going to do that's bigger than 10. Yeah?
So it says write each of the following numerals in base 10. Are we supposed to do it by 10?
No. This is base 10. Base 10 means normal.
Okay.
Yeah. So, yeah, I know that sounds confusing at first. Write each in base 10. That means normal. Just think base 10 normal.
Okay.
That's like what you're used to. So that's the 455. That is base 10. Yeah, if we don't write any I didn't write something there like, this is base 10 or something. If I don't write anything, it means base 10. It's just normal, typical number like you're used to, which is base 10. That's our system. That's the normal system. So that when they say change to base 10, they're saying make it normal. Good. All right. So notice this base 2 number. Maybe we should do that one too. Notice that base 2 number. No, what's the highest digit you see? 1. Look at the base 5 system. What's the highest digit you see?
4.
Look at the base 12 system. What's the highest digit you see in one location? 11. That's an 11, right? Do you see the pattern there? Let's go over that one more time. So I'm trying to answer the question. You answer it with me. What's the biggest digit, which means number in one spot? What's the biggest number in just one spot that you're going to see? In base 2, the biggest digit is 1. In Think about that relationship. 2, 1. In base 5, the biggest digit is 4. In base 12, the biggest digit is 11. The biggest digit with 1 spot. So what's the relationship?
Always on this.
Yeah, in any base system, the biggest digit you're going to see in any one location is 1 less than that, isn't it? And we'll try to get the y on that in a few minutes. But just file that away for now. We'll come back to that, and I'll write some stuff out formally in a minute. Let's go ahead and do B, though, before we go any further. Let's do B. 11011 base 2. Try that one. Kind of work backwards here. 5B. So this is a base 2 number. So remember how the place values go. Starts in the ones place. And it goes times 2, times 2, times 2, times 2, right? Getting that okay? Take it from there. Help. So does it make sense first off how I did the base place value? Start at 1 times 2 every time, right? So then 1 in the 16's place, that's just 16. 1 in the 8's place, that's just 8. Nothing in the 4's place, that's just nothing. 1 in the 2's place, that's just 2. And 1 in the 1's place, that's 1. Add them up. 27. That's the number 27. Kind of weird, huh? It's a big number to say 27. That's the same as a normal base 10, 27. That good? This making sense? Questions on that one? Number, okay. So here's what they want. In fact, I'll just rewrite it a little nicer. So part A here. In base 4, find the first 15 numbers. So basically count from 1 to 15 in base 4. So let me remind you. In base 4, the biggest digit, one spot, is what? What's the biggest digit we're going to see in base 4? Remember that rule? I said file this away. What's the biggest digit you're going to see in base 4? Let's go back. Remember back here we're looking? We're saying the biggest digit in base 12 is 11. Biggest digit in base 5 is 4. Biggest digit in base 2 is 1. So there it is right there, huh? Oh, no, that's base 5. So it's always 1 lower. So the biggest digit in base 4 is in base 4, the biggest digit is 3. That's the biggest digit you're going to see in any one location, which means they're only going to use 0, 1, 2, and 3. They're not going to use 4 or beyond in base 4. Here's a simpler way to say it. In base 4, you're never going to see a 4 or bigger. In base 3, you're never going to see a 3 or bigger. In base 7, you're never going to see a 7 or bigger, etc. Does that make sense? Let me write that down. Base 4, never see a 4 or bigger. You're never going to see a 4 or bigger. Why? Well, we're not quite ready to answer why yet. Let's just get used to it first, and then we'll be ready for why. All right, so here we go. Let's start counting in base 4. 1, 2, 3. This is easy so far. But what comes next? I'd like to write 4. But we just said in base 4, you're never going to see a 4. So I can't write 4. Or 5 or 6 or 7 or 8. What am I going to do instead of writing 4? I've got to make 4 another way. How do you make 4 in the base 4 system? Any ideas? How do you make 4 in the base 4 system? Oh, they don't say 4. Can't say 4. Why not? How do you make 4 in the base 4 system?
1. Don't you go back to 10?
Tens?
Yeah.
So I don't want to, oh, you mean like 1-0?
Yeah.
Do you mean, are you saying that it's 1-0 like that?
Yeah. Like it's 1
12, 13, and then you go to 20.
So you're saying 4 is 10. What do you think? You think is that right? Is 4 10? Is that true? Let's try it out. What's the first place value? The 1's place. What's the next one? I'm in base 4 here. All of this work is base 4 now. So 10 base 4 is the 1's place, the 4's place. So this is 1 4 and no more. No 1's. So what is this number? 10 base 4 is? 4. Yeah, she's right. Sorry, I don't know names yet. But you're right. Good job. That's the number 4. That's the number 4. Isn't it? That's how you make a 4. That's why you'll never see a 4 in the base 4 system. Because you can make a 4, but you don't make it writing the number 4. You make it 10. Does that make sense? That is 4. Isn't it? So we go 1, 2, 3, 10. But, I mean, you can say 10 if you want to. But I'm probably not going to say 10. I'm going to say 10, so I don't confuse you with the 10 you're used to. That's 10, which really means 4 in the base 4 system. You tracking with me? So that is correct. So instead of 4, we go 10. 1, 2, 3, 10. That is 4, isn't it? Now, where do we go from there? Well, you go up by 1, right? We're trying to go up by 1 up to 15. So let's go up by 1 more. What's next? 1 what? Excuse me. Well, I guess I'm not going to sneeze. Okay. So 10, 1, 1. And so basically, let me give you the simple rule and not keep you in suspense anymore. You basically just keep adding 1 until you're about to write a 4, because we're in base 4, you can't write 4. Anytime you're about to write 4, instead carry. Carry. That's what we did right here, huh? Instead of writing 4, I carried to the next column. It became a 2-digit number, right? That's the rule. Anytime, just keep going like normal. Just keep adding 1 every time. So 10, 11, 12, 13, it's all normal. 14, whoop, can't write that 4. Stop there and instead carry. So what do I mean carry? That'll become a 0, carry here, 2-0. 2-0. That's weird, huh? What you're feeling right now is exactly what kids will feel when you first teach them about carrying. Like, what? They'll think 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 1, 0, they'll say. How can 1, 0 be bigger than 9? Are you kidding me? It's just 1 and it's nothing. That's just 1. And you'll go, no, kiddos. And you'll tell them that there's a place value. We've carried 1. Because that 1 is in the bigger place, it's worth more now than a 1 normally is, right? And that's what we just did here. But we're making you really think intentionally about it now, huh? Do you see that? See what really happens in a place value system? See how it's hard for kids at first? We have a pretty complex system. Roman system would be way easier, at least at first. It'd be terrible later, but way easier at first. Right? Does that make sense? So it's exactly what we do in our system. You just don't think about it anymore. It's just natural for you, like the back of your hand. So are you getting the plan? You just add. So what's going to come next? You just keep adding 1, but anytime you're about to write 4, instead carry to the next column. So 2-0, what comes next? 2-1, 2-2, 2-3. Can you do the next one? Let's do the next one. Let's figure out the next one real quick. I'm about to write 2-4. Of course, we can't write a 4. Make it 0 and carry 3-0. This making sense? So we're at 3-0. And keep going. 3-1, 3-2. I don't even know how far we are yet, but whatever. I'll keep going for a while here. 3-2. 3-3. Okay, do the next one for me. It's tricky. Be really careful. Let me give you a chance. This is better on your own. Let me give you 1 minute on your own. 0-0, right? Because the next number I'm about to write is 34, and I go, oh no. Make it 0, carry. 4-0. Oh no. Make it 0, carry. So it's 1-0-0. Sorry, that's awfully scribbly, right? So here, let's do it a little cleaner. So base 4 cleaned up a little bit. What is it? And what number is this? This is number 1. Question number 1 here. Base 4 is 1, 2, 3, 4, but no, make it 1, 0. And then 1, 1, 1, 2, 1, 3. By the way, how do you know when you're done? How far are we supposed to go? Yeah, we're supposed to go till the first 15 numbers. What's a good way to do that? I don't know. Maybe do them in groups of 5. That way it's, 3 groups of, there's 5 numbers, right? There's 5 numbers. What's the next one? 1, 2, 1, 3. I'm just trying to be organized here. 1, 4. Can't write that. Cross that out. Make it 2, 0. 2, 1. 2, 2. Come on down. 2, 3. 2, 4. No. Make it 0. Make it 3, 0. 3, 1. 3, 2. Oh, we were actually done at 3, 3, weren't we? Yeah, I just did an extra one. But so really, that's all they want. So in the homework, that's all they want is they want you to stop at 3, 3. Just with commas on those, you just list them all with commas. Is that making sense? On that, we good? Let me show you if you're ever... So it's saying base 6. So base 6. Can you write the first 15 numbers? Let's just do a few of them, and I'm going to jump away to another problem because I need to show you something else in our last 6 minutes here. So, you know what I mean? 1, 2, 3. Remember, you just start at 1. Just keep adding 1. But what are you not going to see in base 6? Not going to see a 6, huh? So when you're about to write 6, instead write 0 and carry. Okay? Carry to the next column. So when you're about to write 6. 4, 5, 6. No. Base 6, we're never going to see a 6. Instead, we write 0 and carry. That's the 1, 0. By the way, that is 6, isn't it? In the base 6 system. Because this is the 1's place, the 6's place, right? That is 6 in the base 6 system. Okay. So, keep going. 1, 1, 1, 2, 1, 3, 1, 4, 1, 5, 1, 6. No. Make it 0 and carry 2, 0, etc. Let's go dot, dot, dot. We good with that? Not making sense on that? Okay. So, in base 19, what are you never going to see? Well, you're never going to see a 19. Made with 1 digit. Yeah, let me back that up a little bit. I think I can make it more clear. In base 5, you're never going to see a 5, right? What are you going to see? 0, 1, 2, 3, and 4. Well, yeah. 0, 1, 2, 3, and 4. So, right? You good there? You see 0, 1, 2, 3, and 4. You're never going to see a 5. Is that true in our system? In base 10, you're never going to see a what? You're never going to see a 10. But what does that mean? We got a 10. What are they talking about?
Not in one place.
Not in one spot. See, we're talking about what you make with one character, aren't we? Of course you can make any number in any system. That's not what we're talking about. You can make all the numbers in all the systems. But we're talking about how many digits you need. And what's the biggest thing you can make with 1 digit? Right? That's what we're talking about. So in base 5, you're never going to see a 5 made with 1 digit. You'll need 1, 0 to make it. Right? So is that true in base 10? In base 10, you're never going to see a 10 made with 1 digit? Well, yeah, exactly. It's 1, 0. It's 2 digits, isn't it? That's the very reason that we go at 9, we go into 2 digits. So anyway, so what does that mean then? How many different digits do we have in base 9? 0 through 9. I'm sorry, base 10, sorry. Base 10. How many different digits do we have in base 10? 10. Because 1 through 9 and 0. You tracking with me? Sorry, I'm racing the clock and I'm talking fast. So let me slow down and say it one more time. So in base 5, I'm getting ready to answer their question now. So in base 5, you're never going to see a 5. So you're only going to see 0 through 4 made with 1 digit anyway. So how many different kinds of digits is that? 5 different digits, 1 through 4 and 0. So in base 5, you have 5 different digits. In base 10, you have 10 different digits, 0 through 9. 1 through 9 is 9, and 0 is a 10. So in base 10, 10 digits. In base 5, 5 different digits. So in base 19, 19 different digits. They would have to use half of the alphabet, A, B, C. We're not going to actually make numbers in base 19. But if we did, we would need 19 different symbols all in one place, is the point of that question. All right. Take 1, 2, 3 and change it into base 5. Now we're going the opposite direction. Am I making any sense? We've been starting with foreign system numbers, right? Like look back here. Here we started with, well, it's been a while. But back here, that was 11011. That was base 2. That was foreign, and we changed into regular, didn't we? Well, now we're going to start with regular. Now, how do I know that's even a regular number? It can get kind of confusing at this point. How do I know what's a regular number and what's a foreign number? Yeah, how do you know when you're watching a movie that's not a foreign movie? That seems like a silly question, huh? How do you know when you're watching a foreign movie? How about that? Subtitles. There's subtitles, right? So if there's no subtitles, it's a regular number. That work for you? So that's a normal 123. If they wrote 123 and they put a little 5 subtitle, you would go, oh, that's a foreign 123. That's not a normal 123. That's a base 5 123. But if they don't put subtitles, they just write plain old 123, that's a normal 123 like you're used to. And they want me to change it into a foreign number. They want me to go from regular to foreign now. We haven't gone that way. How do you go from regular to foreign? How am I going to make that a base 5 number? Any thoughts? Well, we're running out of time, but let me just do this and we'll stop. You start with the ones place. You've got to write down the system you're going into. We're going into the base 5 system. Write down the place values, 1s, 5s. What comes next? 25. Yeah, it's not 10, it's 25, huh? You keep multiplying by 5. What comes next? 125. You use a calculator. So anyway, I want to make 123 out of those things, don't I? How do I make 123 out of those things? Well, it's kind of tricky. You know what? I'm going to need to, we're out of time. So how about we do this? Why don't we